Hey there, it's Marisol Dennis from New Jersey, and I'm cutting this video because I want to share something with you that you're probably going to think is pretty bizarre. At least I know I did when I first heard it. In fact, it made me really angry. But hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have an aha moment. You'll see something in your life in not quite the same way that you've been looking at it. Hopefully by the end of this video, something will change, even if it's something small, and you'll begin to see your world in a little bit different way. So, many of you know that I was diagnosed with terminal cancer over a decade ago. I've been battling on and off, in and out of remission ever since. But I've been battling holistically, and obviously, I'm still here. I'm still standing. By the grace of God, I am standing. And I was told that I had less than 6 months over a decade ago. But in my journey, I connected with a shaman, a medicine man from the Andes Mountains of Ecuador. His name is Shaidi. And the first time I met Shaidi, he put his hands on my head and he said, "Little girl, you have to forgive." And I thought, the heck does he know? He doesn't know me. And yet, he was so right because the little girl inside of me had so much to forgive because there was a lot of really ugly things that happened to me as a child. And I buried them deep inside of me. I didn't deal with them. I just went on with my life thinking, oh, I'm a super kid. I've overcome this. And when really I didn't overcome it, I just buried it because I had a lot of anger and a lot of resentment. And unforgiveness is a poison. That's a poison to yourself, not to the person you haven't forgiven. But it's actually a poison to yourself. So here I am walking around all these years with this poison in my body and not even realizing that there's a poison in my body. And I'm not talking about the cancer, I'm talking about the unforgiveness and the anger and the resentment that was deep seated and hidden deep inside of me. So we're on a journey, and a lot of my journey was very spiritual. A lot of my healing was really pulling out those very, very painful memories and finding a way to release them, to forgive. And while I'm sure I'll never forget, I don't carry that anger and that resentment anymore. And it's so liberating. But along my journey, Shaidi would always tell me, and I remember the first time he said it, "Marisol, you have to learn to love your cancer." The first time he said it, I was so angry. I was like, first of all, don't ever call it my cancer again. Don't ever. I am not claiming it. It is not mine. I don't want it. Don't put that on me. And he just looked at me and he smiled and he kind of nodded his head, like, yeah, he expected that reaction. I'm like, second of all, why in the world would I love something that's getting ready to kill me? This thing is going to take me away from my kids. It's going to kill me. My babies are still little. Why would I love this thing? Are you kidding me? What? Don't. I was just like floored. And he just shook his head calmly, humbly, and just, took a deep breath and kind of kept walking. Didn't push. But every once in a while, he would say it again. And again, I would, what are you kidding me? This thing is killing me. Why am I supposed to love something that's going to kill me? No, forget it. Stop asking me to do that. It's impossible. I can't. No, and he would shake his head and, whatever. So I was in Ecuador for about a month. Came back to the States, and back here I learned to do so many things, the different exercises. I brought back herbs, a ton of stuff that we were doing. And I had a health food store that's local. A good friend of mine introduced me to the owner, and the owner took me under his wing as if I was his own daughter. And I would go in there needing herbs and, just trying to pick up what I could afford at the time. And when I'd get home, the bag would be full of other stuff that I knew I couldn't afford, but I needed. And he would put it in the bag anyway without charging me. And when I would come in, he would give me fresh wheatgrass juice that he just juiced. And I mean, he was just an incredible, wonderful, wonderful man. And so I went into the health food store one day. Now, Bob and I had never spoken about Shady. Bob is the health food store owner. Never spoken about Shady. I mean, we spoke about him, of course, but not about that learn to love your cancer thing. And In fact, I didn't even tell anybody about it because I wasn't even going to put that out in the universe. I mean, I just thought it was stupid, and people were already looking at him cross-eyed. At least my family was, and my friends like, "You're going with a shaman? Who is that guy? What is this new age stuff? Like, are you crazy? Is this voodoo?" You know, people are so paranoid. It's really actually quite funny, because he was a very humble and wonderful. He is a very humble and wonderful man of God, and so for people to just picture a witch doctor kind of thing was just so of course I wasn't even trying to tell them that he said to love my cancer, because then they really would have thought that was bizarre. I know I did, and I know it made me angry every time he said it. So I'm in the health food store, and Bob says to me, "Marisol, I have a book I need you to read." And all of a sudden he got like solemn and serious. I'm like, "Sure, Bob, what's up? Show me the book." So he pulls out this book, Learning to Love My Cancer, A Survivor's Extraordinary Story by Kay Bevan. And I'm saying to myself, he can't be serious. Scheidi found a way to get to him too. Did Scheidi send the book? Like, I really, and I'm like, where did you get that book? He said, it came into the store and I thought of you. And I said, and you didn't have any contact with Scheidi? I mean, he had met Scheidi when Scheidi was here in my hometown. He said, no, he's in Ecuador. I don't have any contact with him. I said, well, what made you think I had to read the book? And he said, when the book came in, as soon as it came into my hands, I knew that the book came in because it was for you. Don't ask me how. I don't know how. I just knew when I touched that book, when I had that book in my hand, I knew that book was supposed to be for you. Well, he'd been so wonderful to me. I couldn't, hurt his feelings or anything. So I kind of had to like swallow this, okay, because I started to feel the blood boil about this loving the cancer, and I don't want to love the cancer, and I'm not going to love what's going to kill me. And so he puts the book in my hand, and I bring it home, and I just kind of tossed it aside. I didn't really want to read it, I didn't want anything to do with it. But of course, I accepted it because he was so wonderful to me, and I didn't dare hurt his feelings. So one day I finished the book I was reading. I go to pick up another book, and that's the book that I grab off the shelf. And I literally was like all the everything like goosebumps everywhere, and I had this really weird reaction. And so I thought, really, really, God, you really want me to read this book? And the answer was, yeah, I really want you to read this book. I keep telling you, I keep sending you the signs. The universe is talking to you. Now I've put a book in your hand and you're still not going to listen? Okay, all right, I'll read the book. And as I'm reading Kay's story and as I'm reading her journey, everything shifted, my whole attitude, because I'm realizing that there is so much to love in this journey. And I was so busy being angry that I had cancer that I really didn't stop to take the time to be grateful. Not that I wasn't grateful, but it's really hard to put into words because I was just angry that I had cancer and I just wanted the cancer to be out of me. I knew God could blink in a second. All he had to do was blink his eyes and it could be gone. And he wasn't blinking. And why was I still sick? And so as I'm reading her book, I'm starting to really think about my own life and how I never would have met Scheidi if I didn't have cancer. I never would have gone to Ecuador and meet all the incredible people that I met. I never would have gone to California and meet the Lakota tribe and stay with them that I met. And the compassion and the love from the people around me. I never would have connected with Bob in the way that I did. I mean, there's so many incredible things that happened as a result of this disease that I realized that, hmm, this anger is not serving me, which is what Kay was saying in her book. The anger's not serving me. And I started thinking about what I went through in that journey of forgiveness. And even that never would have happened if it wasn't for this illness, this disease. And I started to laugh and remember all of the times that Scheidi shook his head and just, she doesn't get it. because I knew I had finally gotten it. And I think that it wasn't until I started to love this journey that I stopped dying from cancer and actually started living. I was no longer dying of cancer. I was living with cancer. And that is a huge, huge breakthrough. So, whatever the situation in your life right now, whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, as horrible as sometimes things look, there really is a silver lining if you choose to see it. And so, what I'm telling you, what I'm asking you is choose to see it. We actually have the choice. The choice is up to us. This is Marisol Dennis from New Jersey. Please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, touch base with me, let me know what you think. Let me know if that was crazy. Let me know if I'm insane. Let me know if you got it. I want to hear from you. Let's keep in touch. Bye bye.